What is up, Broncos country? How are y'all doing today? It's your boy Mark coming back at you with another video today. A lot of things I want to talk about. Couple of early notes. The Broncos revealed today on their official Instagram or official Twitter that they are going to be revealing the new jerseys on April 22nd. So in 20 days. I figured they probably wouldn't put it out yesterday because everybody would have thought it was a stupid April Fool's joke. But so that's coming. Super excited about it. We'll probably get some leaks. Hopefully, I don't want to wait. So I'm all about the leaks. But a new era of Broncos football and Broncos design is on the horizon. So excited about that. That whole week is going to be lit, man. We're gonna have new jerseys, and then we're going to prepare for the draft. And stay with me, man. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be live streaming. We're going to be doing a lot of mock drafts. We're going to be doing a lot of other videos that requested in some comments. So I appreciate you guys riding with me. But today, I was thinking the other day about, it's such an interesting thing when you start to read through the tea leaves and you kind of see a lot of the reports that are coming out, and you start to realize there's always smoke, and it's kind of for a reason, right? So I'll tell you guys one thing. The NFL is obviously always going to market and promote quarterbacks, whether it be quarterbacks that are playing or quarterback prospects. Those are always usually going to be the hot topics. And every single year, even if it's one quarterback drafted in the first round or five or whatever it might be, there's always hype around a guy, or this guy's stock is climbing. It was JJ McCarthy. I think that there's a lot of hype there. I don't really know if JJ McCarthy's ascension is real or if it's fake. I guess we won't really know. And then a lot of it was like, the news surrounding Bo Nix has always been a little bit interesting to me, because you hear kind of constantly, regardless of whatever, outlet that you hear it from, they always talk about Bo Nix to the Broncos makes a lot of sense. Joel Klatt said it. Colin Cowherd said it. There's some guys on NFL Network that said it. Daniel Jeremiah said it. And there's just it seems like there's just this, it's like you got these experts that are basically saying, oh yeah, he kind of has a lot of Drew Brees in him, or he profiles like Drew Brees. And it's like, really? They're just kind of sweeping that under the rug. Like that's a pretty damn high comparison for somebody that you say is a borderline first round pick, but will probably get taken in the top 15. So it's wild. But now you start to see the hype around Michael Penix after his pro day. Now, let me tell you guys something, okay? There is nothing more worthless and dumber to follow than post-pro day hype. I mean, it's crazy to think that after Zach Wilson threw, in front of scouts against air, no defenders, he all of a sudden was like a lock to be the number 2 overall pick for the Jets. And we'll see how that worked out. So pro days are stupid. They're crazy. I mean, there's been some guys that have had bad pro days that ended up being great. There's been some guys that have had amazing pro days that ended up being terrible. Jamarcus Russell being one. Obviously Zach Wilson, and there's a lot that have ended up being trash. So I think that there's just so much hype out right now. But Michael Penix's pro day was interesting to me, not because of how he threw it. I'm not surprised. Michael Penix has got probably the best arm in the draft, probably the most arm talent. His ability to pass the football is just ridiculous. It is. It comes out clean. It's simple. Some people say it looks weird because he's left-handed, but man, is that the ball just come off and he throws on a dot. Michael Penix's issues, or why he's been kind of not really talked about as much as a first-round pick, even though he probably will go, is because the injury history and his lack of athleticism, or his kind of performance not being very good when he has a muddy pocket. The fact that he ran a 4.46 at his pro day is wild, and he looked great doing it. He looks like he's in amazing shape. So that kind of opened up some eyeballs for me. Then I start to think about his medical history. All right, this guy he's played 6 years of college football. He's had major injuries in 4 of those years, 2 ACLs and 2 shoulder surgeries. But the last 2 seasons he played them in full. He played them clean. He got a clean bill of health. I don't think it's actually as big of a deal as people think he is. And I just feel like if you look at the tape and look at his stats, and you start to read about his mannerisms, the fact that he's extremely smart, he picks up on offenses really well, he's got a ton of experience. I think those things are going to kind of start working for him again. And I think that you're going to hear he's ascending, but I ultimately think that he's somebody that I think can go a lot sooner than people think. And I think Michael Penix to the Broncos is a very legitimate possibility. Now, I've noticed it's very, very split when it comes to Penix. You've got guys that hate him, don't want anything to do with him, or you've got guys that like, hell yeah, I love him. It's really not much in the middle. And I'm kind of one of those guys in the middle, right? Because I can see the potential and I can be like, damn, he's intriguing, but there's a lot of things that really scare me too. But when you look at him, man, the guy's a ridiculous thrower of the football. He really is. He manipulates the pocket pretty well. When he starts to face pressure, sometimes, yeah, he certainly struggles, but my God, the ball comes out of his hands quick and it comes out on a dot. Some people will say, having, I think, Jalen Polk and Rome Odunze, some stud weapons on the outsides, helped him and made him, look a lot better than he was. But if you really watch the tape and watch the film, there's a lot of times where he might have made them look a lot better than they were. Just absolutely throwing them open, throwing with layers, throwing with anticipation. The guy's got a ridiculous ability. And I think in a nutshell, he really fits well with what Sean Payton's wanting to do as well. I think from a processing standpoint, from everything that you read and hear, he's going to be able to pick up offenses quickly and be able to read defenses and diagnose really, really well. He gets the ball out of his hands well. If you can process well, you can usually get the ball out. Didn't really get sacked a lot, which a lot of people say we had a really good offensive line. Well, a lot of the times that comes from the quarterback. I've had this debate with people that, the Russ lovers, and I used to be the biggest fan of Russell Wilson. Don't get it, but that guy is the reason he's always getting sacked every single year so many times. 45, 50 sacks a year. 40 to 50% of those sacks are his fault always, consistently. Just look at it through his whole career. Our offensive line last year was among the best in pass pro, and yet he still kept getting sacked because he'd run himself into trouble. So if you can get a quarterback that's a young guy like a Michael Penix that can really get the ball out, protect himself, but then if needed to extend plays, that athleticism that he showed was pretty damn impressive. And I'll tell you that the guy's got a cannon. From a size standpoint, like I was saying previously, they're all roughly the same, roughly 6'2", 220 pounds. Michael Penix's hands are huge. Bo Nix's hands are huge, something that I always think is a plus. So I think he's somebody that definitely does fit. And when they talked to him at the combine, he had said, I met with the Broncos and it was weird because they kept bringing up a lot of the bad plays. That's probably standard protocol for a lot of the guys. He just happened to say it. But for me, that's kind of like they see a lot of good, but they want to know what the hell went wrong in these situations so that, how would you fix them moving forward? So I think for me that shows that there could be a lot of internal optimism about him. I think that they might really like him. And the fact that you're not really hearing Michael Penix coming to the Broncos at all through any of the outlets is, in my opinion, kind of on purpose, right? They kind of started to do with J.J. McCarthy, and then he kind of took on his own hype. So people took the Broncos out of it. And then Bo Nix was like the lock. And now you're not really going to, I don't know how much you're going to hear about Michael Penix coming, but I mean, get ready for it, guys. It could happen. It could happen. And Michael Penix is probably somebody that the Raiders, I've been reading through reports, really like. So if we really like them, then we're going to need to probably make a move because they might want to jump us, or maybe we're just playing it off like we don't. So there's so many possibilities. But Michael Penix is one of those guys where I feel like he'd be really intriguing, even though I think he would trigger a lot of people. So if you guys are ready for Michael Penix, man, I mean, if you're not, or if you're super against it, just look into him a little bit more. Listen to these really, really smart people. My boy Joel Cloud, I'll tell you, he's one of the best in the business when it comes to analyzing college football players, but specifically the quarterback position, not just because he played, but he also analyzes and calls these games and is able to see a lot. And he loves Michael Penix, man. He's obsessed with him. He just says his ability to throw with anticipation, with layers, pinpoint accuracy is next level. And I think showcasing some of that athleticism really makes things intriguing because he's one of those guys where medical history aside, he's the closest thing to like having Mahomes and Josh Allen type of skill set in this draft besides Caleb Williams. I mean, he's that kind of level. I would say probably even above Drake May. So there's a lot of good, man. There's a lot of good things to like. An interesting point too is that maybe they get a sense that he's kind of falling, and so that allows for them to trade back, or maybe they could take a tackle at number 12, and then they can ship off Garrett Bowles during the draft because it can happen for like a second or upper first round pick to be able to come back into the first and be able to to take a guy like Michael Penix. It also would allow for somebody like Bowles to maybe be traded or dispensable, because if you have a left-handed quarterback, now Mike McGlinchey is your blindside tackle. And that could be a bad thing, right? I think it's a bad thing personally, but it's a possibility. And these are things that you kind of have to work through when you look at it. So yeah, man, that's that. I think, check it out on Michael Penix, do your research, look at it. I think that the guy has a lot of crazy ability. He's probably the biggest boom bust besides maybe Drake May in this draft. I think that he's somebody that can be unbelievable or frankly just not cut it out at all in the NFL draft. And there's not really too much of a middle ground like there is with maybe a JJ or a Bo Nix. So we'll see what we're feeling when it comes to that. No doubt about it. Another side note, I might make a whole new video on this, but just something to keep in mind too, just a little tidbit that I wrote down that I wanted to make sure that I talked about here. At the combine, or at the owners meeting, I rewatched the Sean Payton interview again, and he said something. He said, we are going to be looking at all the quarterbacks that have played in this league or have played in this league. And there's been some people talking about this. And it's kind of interesting, man, because what you notice with Sean Payton is he does not say things for no reason. Like there's always something. He kind of can't help himself. He kind of gives you a little bit of something. So people are saying, oh, is he trying to talk somebody out of retirement? Is it somebody that's in the XFL that maybe he's interested in bringing back? I don't know. Or the UFL, I guess. I've been looking at some UFL guys. I don't know. AJ McCarron maybe as like a backup. But man, like, you think he's trying to talk Tom Brady out? Think he's trying to talk Matt Ryan or, Phillip Rivers out? I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't think so, but I thought it was interesting. And it's something to just monitor, keep an eyeball out, because, hey, I don't want it to be one of those things where it's like, I told you so, but I didn't actually tell you so. So now by me mentioning it, I could tell you all I told you so. Appreciate you guys riding with me. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, man. We'd love to get some of y'all on the channel, and appreciate it. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Mile high salute to you guys out. And of course, as always, peace out.